It's been a little while since I've made a video, but I've got a great series of videos that are coming up, a lot of great content coming up. And in this video, we're going to cover a new app that I found that's really cool for finding new camp spots, especially on a motorcycle, because I don't trailer, so I ride everywhere. And then I've got some new gear, a lot of good new gear that I'm going to cover. And this one's primarily about the new tent I got. It's all about motorcycle camping. And this is a garage tent. It's not really actually a garage tent, but I made it into a garage tent and it worked out really good. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I did it, what kind of tent it is, and some of the new gear that I used to support the whole idea. So stay tuned, we got some great content. So, my whole issue, actually I'm going to keep drinking my coffee every time. There's been two or three times in the past where I've gotten caught in the rain. And when you're not a trailer guy and you ride everywhere, rain can really suck when you're trying to set up your camp. Everything gets wet. You know, like I had a Kelty 4-person great tent, nothing against Kelty tents, it was an awesome tent, but the vestibule was small. You could only fit like maybe the 2 panniers in there and a pair of boots. And then you had to crawl in, you had to get all wet, and the tent would get wet, your sleeping bag would get wet. It was kind of messy. So I always wanted to kind of get into something that's more of like a motorcycle tent, you know, and there's 2 or 3 big brands, they're cheaper versions that you can buy. And none of them really kind of fit the bill that I was looking for. I really kind of wanted to make it a little bit different. So I stumbled across, I'm a big fan of Nature Hike. I like a lot of their products. I got their chairs, their tables. I ordered a new grill for cooking. That's another whole episode that I got coming up. It's going to be really good. You're going to like it. A lot of good cooking tips, pans. It's going to be some good content. And then food. Also, that's going to be another video. I've got a lot of good food stuff coming up. But in this tent, I wanted it to be able to sit, have the bike inside, pull up, unfold the tent, pull the bike inside, and then unpack all my gear out of the rain. Take off my helmet, take off the jacket, lay it on the bike. Put my helmet up here, have all my stuff on the bike, and then be out of the rain unpacking all my panniers, you know. Having these, when I've got these out, sitting out, they'll still be connected on the bike, or I'll take them off, set them on the ground, but again, I'm out of the weather, I'm out of the rain. So that was the goal. And what I found so far, and it's worked great. I've only had it out on one trip, but it is a Kelty, I'm sorry, not a Kelty. It's a Nature Hike, 4-person, 4-season. I mean, I wouldn't call it a 4-season tent. I'd say maybe in the 3. I would take it anywhere real cold, although it did get down to 36 and I stayed fairly warm. That's another video we got coming up that's going to be about sleeping. I may even bring that in on this one because I had a pretty bad failure on that. I kind of froze my butt off, but we'll cover that in just a little bit. But this Nature Hike tent that I bought, it's a Dune 2 4-person, and it's a hot tent. So it's split. It has a threshold through the middle, and you have a 2-person and 2-person. Well, I just take the netting and the 2-person tent out of this side, and I use that as my bike. That bike fits in there perfect. I'll put up a picture right now that shows you what that looks like with the bike parked in there. And then with the bike parked in there, I have all of this room. I had my chair, my table. I sat and cooked in front of my tent. All my stuff was dry. It was beautiful. It worked out real. But it's a 6-bolt tent. It's very easy to put together. Now the only downside to this tent is it's big. It's not a small tent, you know. But that's okay. I trimmed down some areas that I could trim down. I got rid of the hard panniers and went soft. I go with Tusk. These are my second set of Tusk, and they've done great. The first pair I caught on fire, and they still held in there for a while. But these are just the Pilots, I think, Tusk Pilots. Great bags. I love them. I've used them quite a bit, and I have a Tusk tank bag too. But the downside is to get this behemoth on here. This is it. It's not real heavy, the second part, but it sits about right here. Let me turn the camera here a little bit so you can see. Now usually my back box is right here where my phone's sitting because I like to watch myself. But usually my back box is sitting about right here, stops here. And then what I do is this is actually sitting on top of my 40-liter dry. I've had this bag for friggin' ever. This is just a 40-liter dry bag that sits here. I cross-strap this down to the bike. Once this is firm and strong, it won't go anywhere. Then I take these loops here and here on either side, put the tent on top of this. And again, it's backed up against the box. This is all backed up against my hard box here. And then I strap this down to this bike. And it worked perfect. And it's cool, once I get highway pegs on this bike on the front, with cruise control, this is a backrest. I kick back. I did 200 miles on the highway and it was nothing. It was kind of nice actually. Let's turn this back around here just a little bit. Okay. So one of the other things that I struggled with is sleeping bags. If you go cheap, then they're huge to keep you warm. Like I was in 30, got down to 36 up the Suwannee River, the last campsite I went to. It's a dirt campsite sitting right up the Suwannee River. It's beautiful, it's awesome. I got some cool pictures of it. But the sleeping, trying to stay warm, I went with the theory where I took a wool blanket, an old school wool blanket, and this, and tried to two-piece it. Sleep on this, and then put the wool blanket over the top of me, on top of me to keep me warm. It worked. I stayed nice and warm as long as I didn't move. This and the wool blanket were like ice. They were just slipping and sliding. I was constantly trying to fix and tuck myself in. It didn't work out. So, but this is a cheapy little Adventure Awaits ZZ Focus. This is actually a pretty good little sleeping bag. It kept me warm. I actually kicked the wool blanket off and just used this. I stayed pretty warm. That's pretty cool. But another thing that I have kind of gotten into are the sleeping pads. This is a huge, just like Adventure Tires almost. It's ridiculous. I bought this thing. Look at this thing. Look how big this is. It's as big as my foot. It's huge. It's gigantic. It's nice. Don't get me wrong. If you're pulling a trailer and you've got all your gear in your truck, okay. This Coleman itself, it airs up itself. It's warm. It stays it never got cold, but it's huge. So that's out for me. And then I bought this is again, it's a little fun pack. It's I think this is a TikTok special. No, this is Amazon. This is an Amazon. It self pumps. It's got a little pump in it that you pump up yourself. I'll put pictures of it where it's aired up inside my tent. This is a good buy. I think this is like 30 bucks, 40 bucks. I'll have to put the link on the bottom to let me show. But this was a good little airbag. I like that one a lot. I'll put the link down before. But so I got that. I got the sleeping bag. The only thing I got to cover or tackle is the sleeping bag. I got to try to find a good sleeping bag. And I'm trying to go through Down and all the different versions. I mean, the threshold for a good true 20 degree. You know, people say they're 20, but realistically a 20, if it's sub 200, under $200, is more like a 35 to 45, probably up in the 40s. You'd be comfortable in 40 degree weather if you're not layered up. If you want to stay in 20 and you want to get in there with no shirt and a pair of shorts on, you're going to spend probably $300, $400. If you really want to get below 20, and you're talking $500, $600, $700, $800 for some of these really expensive. I mean, they're nice. They're all Down. They're amazing sleeping bags, but not really what I want because I need to pack it small. And from what I understand, from what I've learned so far, is Down will pack the tightest, the smallest. So trying to balance that out, I found one thing. Kelty has a really good one that's about a 20, which means it's probably in the 30 degree comfortable. REI, I think I'm saying that, REI, and then there's one more, Teton. Teton, I'll put the link, the model below. Those are the three that ChatGPT had great reviews on it. Did a lot of homework, and they said that's for the budget in the 180 to 300 range. Those were good, good sleeping bags for what I was looking for. Then also with the Tufts tank bag, this thing was great. It's the perfect size for $100. You can't beat this. It's really a good deal. It's the second one I owned. I had another one that was not the Olympus. I forgot what model it was. I had it forever. It got wet. I never put the cover on it. It got soaked all the time. Never had any issues with it. This holds my very well. Tucks it down in there. Sits right down the side here on the side. Fit perfect. And that's a 45. So it's not the magnetic. It has the straps on it. Which I don't know. Cooking thing. I'm gonna do a whole thing with that. I've got a good new pancake mix. I got a new bread mix. Some egg holders that I got. A couple of things that really make carrying food for a long distance and not, you got a truck and you got a cooler, okay, yes, it's much easier that way, but I don't know, I kind of like doing stuff the hard way, so I want to see how I can carry that food, be off grid for 3 days, and how I can sustain that food, keep it to where it doesn't go bad, and then keep it, where I can cook the food on the proper times and stuff. Okay, the last thing I really want to touch base on is something that a lot of people may already know about, but I just found it. It's an app called HitCamp, and there's filters built in to where you can tent, RV, what is that called? Yurts. They have the yurts, all kinds of filters where you can tell it what kind of area, if you want water, if you need a bathroom, if you have animals. And I did it where, trying some of the new stuff out, I wanted to have that support there. I wanted to maybe have a bathroom that's nearby, and I wanted water. If I needed to filter some water, some sort of access to water. I didn't need power because I got all kinds of batteries and backups and all that kind of stuff. And this last trip I did, I was only gone for 2 nights. So it wasn't like I was far away. It was only a little over 200 miles away from the house. It was a lot of fun, and it was cool. The HitCamp app made it so easy. You just go through, filter. If you had a certain area that you want to look at, you just search a site. Like my next area is going to be up towards the Columbus, Georgia area. I'm going to go up towards Pine Mountain, that Georgia's little Grand Canyon. I forgot what city that is. I'll put it down below on there. It's a little like Georgia's Grand Canyon. It's supposed to be really cool. And these are privately owned pieces of property that people just rent out the spaces for. And they have water. They got little cabins. You can tent camp. They got, off grid where there's nothing. There's no water, there's no anything, and you're just renting a spot for $15 to go and pitch your tent and spend the night. But they're everywhere, all over US. It's such a cool app. You got to go in there and try it out. Go in there and look. That's where I found the one at Swanee River. It's a big, gigantic RV park, but at the very end of the RV park, they've got a little off-grid camping site for primitive camping down at the very end, and it's all the tent sites are along the edge of the river. It was really cool. It was a lot of fun. And it was a really good place for me to test. I wasn't, hardcore off-grid camping like I usually do, where there's nothing, there's no water. I just find a big patch on the side of a mountain that looks like it's even, and I could, camp there. This is a little bit more secure than that, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. But that platform, I kind of like that because there's so many RV parks and state parks. Every time you go there, they're just booked. You can't just on a whim, because a lot of times with my family, I can't just plan 2 months ahead. I don't know what the hell's going to happen 2 months. My family always comes first. So, if it's usually at last minute, I'm like, wait a minute, I got this person's all taken care of. That's been fixed. This is done. My wife's on call. She's busy, and I got like 3 days. I don't have anything to do. I get on HitCamp, find a place, I'm gone. And it's not expensive. It cost me like $80 for 2 nights and water, bathrooms. It was awesome. A real good tool for guys like me that are that ride, that don't trailer. Again, I'm not harping on the guys that are trailer queens. I'm sorry, not trailer queens, just trailer guys. I'm not harping on guys that are trailer. You do you. But part of the journey for me is riding. If I can ride it in a car, it's going to be better on a bike for me. I love getting out on those 2-lane little roads, sitting in the cruise control, kicking back, especially with my new little setup, and just riding. That's the way I hit my reset button, and it just it's a whole different world. So, and then for all of the stuff that I've talked about, I am going to put links to all of this at the bottom. And I'm not paid. I'm not an affiliate. This is shit that I buy and I use, and I'll tell you that I like it. I'll tell you where to buy it if you want to try it out yourself. That's it. I don't do the affiliate. And nothing against it, but I don't do that. I don't want to mess with all that. I do this because it's fun. I love camping. I love motorcycle camping, and that's how I've learned, is watching other guys that have done it and said, hey, this sucks, don't use it. Okay, cool. Same thing. I've tried stuff out. I think, hey, yeah, it's not the most expensive thing in the world, but it worked great. And maybe that'll help somebody else out. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.